Alright guys, got some Rome Total War action for you today. This is another one-on-one battle online, CWB rules. I'm playing the Julii Romans and my opponent is playing Germania. My army consists of 4 urban cohorts. 3 of them are bronze and 1 is silver bronze, which is also my general's unit. I have 5 Roman archers that are silver bronze, and I have 4 Praetorian Cav that are bronze. As you can see, kind of my standard way of deploying here: infantry in front, archers in loose formation behind, cavalry on the back row. Let me fast forward through this and we can take a look at my opponent's army. Okay, so my opponent playing Germania has 5 spear warbands. They do not appear to have any upgrades. So 5 basic spear warbands. 3 skirmishers, also with no upgrades. A berserkers that has 3 upgrades, so maybe silver bronze. There are 2 Knight Raiders. Can't really see their upgrades. And then
We're being attacked!
it looks like 4 Gothic Cav that have a number of upgrades on them. Okay, so my opponent quickly brought forward his men here. He's coming around the tower with some of his spears, and he brought in his berserkers onto one of my first units of urbans. You can see they're going to town on the urbans here. One-on-one, these are very tough troops to fight against. So you can see my opponent's trying to flank this unit over here. So just those berserkers routed my first unit of urbans. So now my second one is taking on the berserkers that are left and the spear warband. Urbans over on this side are getting flanked by these spears. While this is going on, you can see I'm moving around my cavalry and archers off kind of over into this woods and hill area. This also was a battle that was earlier on in my time playing Rome Total War, and the way I've handled this part of the battle was not very good. Would not recommend doing what I've done here, leaving this unit isolated, and some other things that could have definitely been done better. In fact, I'm not using my cavalry at all to support my troops right now, which is a mistake. Okay, so as you can see here, the urbans that were double teamed over here on this flank have routed. So of this one spear warband over here, I killed maybe 20 of the men in the unit, and they routed an entire urban cohort unit. So that was definitely a huge disadvantage in the numbers there for me. So I'm going to bring my cavalry forward and start doing something. Now here's a nice move, finally. So I brought the cavalry forward, routed some skirmishers, brought them right into the rear of those warbands, routed them, and I charged on through, routed another spear warband, and then my opponent brought forward a unit of his Knight Raiders, at which point I then go ahead and withdraw my cav. Took a few losses in there, but to rout, 3 or 4 enemy units at one time like that is definitely worth it. So I've got 2 remaining urban cohorts in the center here, just kind of in this mass, fighting against these Knight Raiders, spear warbands. That's it, just those. So we got 2 spear warbands here, 1 there, and some Knight Raiders right there. Which I'm making short work of the Knight Raiders. They don't really stand much chance against the urbans. You can see, look at all the fighting here. There goes some cav dying. Okay, I'm going to charge in right there on the backs of those Knight Raiders and get rid of them. So I finally did some good maneuvering with my cavalry. I was able to work in behind them. Now I'm going to charge into this skirmisher unit here. See what I can do there. Route them. This warband over here routed while fighting all my urbans. Now he's going to charge in his cav from the back end here. My depleted urbans are trying to hold off. Got his other unit of Night Raiders there. 2 spear warbands down here, plus all of this cav. As you can see, slowly bringing my cav in. This was another mistake, a huge mistake. Should have had my cavalry closer to support. So it took so long. Like I say, it's taking so long for this one to get over
no
to
way
here
for a Roman
that.
to behave. Shame will be his forever. Your general runs away.
As I was saying, I didn't bring my cav over soon enough, so my general's unit was decimated and routed just before the cavalry got there. Had the cavalry got there sooner, then that whole situation might have turned out differently. So lots of cavalry fighting going on all over the place. It's kind of such a mess on the battlefield. It's hard to really see what's going on because of all the dead bodies. Look at all this. Just a big, messy, spread out battle. Germans and Romans going back and forth, charges and counter charges. If you like gritty, tough fighting, then this is definitely the type of battle you would like. Okay, so one of my Praetorian cohorts, or Praetorian cav, had enough of it, and they're taking off there. Notice I still have all my archers. They've been up on this area.
The gods be praised! The enemy general is dead! His men know their doom approaches!
So I had good positioning here with my archers. I was getting good shots kind of on that elevation down into the battle here. Alright, so my cav is pretty much toast now. I've got, let's see, one here that has 12 men left, fighting off some Night Raiders. But he has more cav. They're going to come through, charge in there. You can see the arrows coming down from my archers. Let's take a look at it this way. My last urban cohort that was hanging out on this side over here finally routed. It's 11 men. So now my opponent's going to rush the remainder of his troops. He's got, see, a couple of depleted cav units. He's got one skirmisher. He's got a few Night Raiders, some spear warbands. So look, charging in, his units are tired and they're at an elevation disadvantage, and so his heavy cav actually routes when I attack with hand-to-hand combat with my archers, who aren't tired. They've been just firing on the hill. So I've routed his skirmishers, I've routed his depleted cav, and now his spear warband, which are also very tired, so they're not going to be fighting very well, and they rout. And then his general's unit right there just got demolished.
Victory! By the decree of
So it
fate,
wasn't
perhaps,
pretty, but
victory all the same.
the Romans are victorious over the Germans, despite multiple errors on the Romans' part. As you can see here, Germania did have a much larger army, but you know, their forces individually aren't quite as good as the Roman one. The German player did well, he maneuvered well, and made a very close battle of it. So good game to my opponent, Titus Polo, and that's it for this time, guys.